Hey guys, tonight we are journeying to the misty, marsh-haunted lands of Iron Age Northern Europe. We are going to a world of peat smoke, thatched roof longhouses, and ancient, elemental gods who demand a terrible price for their favor. We're going to explore the grim reality behind some of history's most mysterious archaeological finds, the bog bodies, and imagine the story of a community driven to the ultimate act of desperation, a human sacrifice to appease a great and terrible curse. Now for our little reality check. We like to think of human sacrifice as something done to enemies or slaves. But for some ancient cultures, when the world was falling apart, when the crops were failing and sickness was spreading, the logic of sacrifice was terrifyingly simple. The gods were angry, and to appease an angry god, you couldn't just offer a goat or a pot of butter. You had to offer them the most precious and valuable thing you had. And sometimes, the most precious thing you had was a person you loved. It was a stressful time to be popular. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Your support is the sacred offering that keeps this channel going. And as always, I love seeing where you're all joining from. So please post your city and your local time in the comments. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Your world is one of green earth, gray skies, and the constant, damp smell of the great peat bog that borders your village. You live in the heart of a small but prosperous tribe, a community of farmers and warriors. Your lives governed by the turning of the seasons and the will of the old gods. Your home is a great wooden longhouse, a magnificent building with a high, thatched roof, its timbers dark with the smoke of the central hearth fire. It's a spacious, cozy building that you share with your entire extended family, and during the harshest nights of winter, several of your father's prized cows. It's a living arrangement that really blurs the line between family and livestock. You are Era, and your life is a privileged one. You are the daughter of the chieftain, a great, bearded warrior named Borin, a man respected for his strength in battle and his wisdom in council. Your mother is a serene and powerful woman, skilled in the weaving of fine woolen cloth and knowledgeable in the secrets of healing herbs. You are loved, you are respected, and your future seems as bright and as certain as the return of the sun after a long winter. Your days are spent learning the duties of a high-status woman of your tribe. You work with your mother at the great warp-weighted loom that stands in your longhouse, learning to weave the complex patterns that tell the stories of your people. You learn which herbs to gather in the forest for curing a fever, and which to avoid as poisons. In the evenings, you sit by the great hearth fire, and you listen as the village storyteller chants the great epics of your gods and heroes. Tales of great battles, of cattle raids, and of cunning gods who walk among men. Your people's relationship with the gods is a practical and constant one. You do not have grand stone temples. Your places of worship are the ancient, sacred places of the land itself, a grove of old oak trees, a strange, moss-covered standing stone, and, most importantly, the great, dark, silent bog. The bog is a place of immense power and immense danger. It is a gateway to the other world, a place where the barrier between the world of men and the world of the spirits is thin. It is to the bog that your people make their most important offerings. You have witnessed the rituals. You have seen your father, as chieftain and priest, dedicate a magnificent bronze sword to the spirits of the bog, sinking it slowly into the dark, rust-colored water. You have seen your mother pour a cauldron of fresh butter into a pool as an offering for fertility and health for the livestock. These are gifts, transactions, a way of maintaining the delicate peace, the pax deorum, between your village and the ancient, powerful spirits of the land. This year has been a good one. The spring was mild, the summer long and warm. The fields of barley and wheat that surround your village are tall and golden, promising a bountiful harvest. The cattle are fat and healthy. The gods are pleased. The village celebrates at the great midsummer festival. A massive bonfire is lit on the hill above the village, its flames leaping into the twilight sky. There is feasting on roasted boar, and the drinking of great quantities of sweet, potent mead and strong, dark ale. The village musician plays a droning, hypnotic tune on his pipes, and you and the other young people of the village dance, your feet stomping the earth in a rhythm as old as the hills themselves. You are at the center of it all. The chieftain's daughter, your future bright and full of promise. There is a young warrior, a man named Finn, the son of your father's greatest champion, who looks at you with admiring eyes. It is understood that you will one day be wed, a match that will strengthen the bonds of the clan. Life is good. The world is in its proper, peaceful order. As the celebration winds down, you walk with Finn to the edge of the village, looking out over the fields of barley, their heads heavy and golden in the last of the fading light. It is a perfect, peaceful scene. But as you look, you notice something strange. A single stalk of barley, right at the edge of the field, while all the others are a healthy gold. This one is withered and black, its head blighted and rotten, as if touched by a strange, unseasonable frost. You point it out to Finn. He shrugs. It is nothing, he says. One bad stalk in a field of thousands. The earth is generous this year. You agree. It is nothing. A single, small, dark spot in a vast golden picture of prosperity? A meaningless anomaly. You turn from it and walk back to the warmth and light of the village fire, back to your life of peace and certainty, and you think of it no more. You do not know that you have just seen the first sign of the coming darkness, the first tiny spore of a great and terrible curse that will consume your entire world, and demand a price you cannot possibly imagine. The joy of the midsummer festival fades as the season turns towards harvest. But a strange and terrible wrongness begins to creep into your world. The single black, blighted stalk of barley you saw by the field's edge was not an anomaly. It was an omen. Within weeks, the blight spreads. You walk through the fields with your father, and what should be a sea of golden, heavy-headed grain is now a diseased and dying landscape. Great. Dark patches of rot spread through the fields, as if a giant, unseen beast has lain down and poisoned the earth. The heads of the barley are not full of healthy seed. They are filled with a strange, dark, powdery fungus that smells of rot and decay. The wheat is afflicted with a creeping, rust-colored sickness. The harvest, which promised to be the most bountiful in memory, is a catastrophic failure. The curse does not stop with the crops. It seeps into the livestock. The cows that graze in the pastures near the blighted fields begin to sicken. Their milk dries up. 2 calves are born grotesquely deformed, their limbs twisted, and they die within hours. Your father's prize bull, the symbol of the tribe's strength and fertility, is found dead in its pasture, its body bloated. Though it had been healthy the night before, a cold, quiet fear begins to settle over your village. A fear as thick and as chilling as the morning mists that roll in from the bog. Your father and the village elders try to find rational explanations. Perhaps it was the strange. Wet weather in the early summer? Perhaps a sickness in the soil. They order the blighted sections of the fields to be burned, hoping to contain the rot. They make extra offerings of butter and grain at the bog's edge. But nothing works. The blight continues to spread. And then it comes for the people. It is not a swift, hot plague like the stories you have heard of in the distant south. It is a slow, creeping, and miserable affliction. It begins with cramps in the stomach and a strange, tingling numbness in the fingers and toes. Then comes a wasting weakness, a feeling of the life force being slowly drained away. People grow thin and pale. Their skin feels as if it is on fire from within. A torment they call the sacred fire, and they begin to see things. They speak of dark shapes moving at the edge of their vision, of whispers in the night. The curse is not just killing your people, it is driving them mad. Your mother, with her knowledge of healing herbs, works tirelessly. She brews teas of willow bark to fight the fevers and makes poultices for the cramping limbs. But her remedies are useless against this strange new sickness. The fear in the village now curdles into paranoia. This is not a natural event. This is a curse of immense power. The gods are angry. The spirits of the earth have turned against you. The villagers begin to look at each other with suspicion. Old grudges and resentments resurface. Did the men from the neighboring village, with whom you have a long-standing dispute over hunting grounds, send this curse upon you? Did someone within your own village commit some secret, terrible taboo, a murder, a sacrilege that has brought this divine wrath down upon you all? Future historians, studying the great panics of the past, will debate their cause. Was it religion? Was it social tension? Was it an environmental crisis? You, living in the heart of it, see that it is all three at once. The failure of the harvest has created a real, physical desperation. This desperation has inflamed the social tensions between families and clans, and the entire catastrophe is being understood through the only framework you have, a religious one. You have offended the gods. The weight of this divine anger falls most heavily on your father. As chieftain, he is the intermediary between the people and the gods. The prosperity of the tribe is a reflection of his own favor with the spirits. The blight is seen as his failure. You watch him grow grim and withdrawn, the lines on his face deepening with worry. He spends long hours at the edge of the bog, making offerings, pleading with the unseen powers. But the curse does not lift. By the time the first snows of a bleak and early winter begin to fall, the village is in a state of utter despair. The granaries are almost empty. The last of the sick cattle have been slaughtered, and the wasting sickness continues its slow, inexorable march through the longhouses. Your father calls a great council. The entire tribe gathers in the smoky dimness of his great hall. The fire in the central hearth seems to offer little warmth against the chill of fear that fills the room. The gods have turned their faces from us, your father announces, his voice a heavy, sorrowful boom. Our offerings have been rejected. Our prayers have gone unheard. The blight upon our land is the mark of a great curse, a punishment for a crime that we do not understand. He looks around at the desperate, upturned faces of his people. Our own wisdom is not enough. We must ask the gods themselves what they demand of us. We must know the price of their forgiveness. He declares that he has summoned the seer, an old, wise woman named Morwen, who lives as a hermit deep in the forest, a woman who is said to be able to speak with the spirits and read the secrets of the earth. She will come to the village on the next full moon. She will perform a great divination. She will find the source of the curse, and she will tell you what must be done to lift it. A new, more focused fear now settles over the village. The seer's wisdom is a thing of great power, but it is also a thing of great danger. The truth she reveals may be a terrible one, and the price the gods demand for their mercy may be higher than any of you can imagine. You and your entire village now wait in a state of suspended dread for the arrival of the woman who will read your fate. The full moon rises, huge and cold, over a village that is sick with fear. The day of the divination has arrived. The seer, Morwen, has come. She is not what you expected. She is not a wild-eyed madwoman. She is a woman of immense and unsettling stillness. She is ancient. Her face a web of 1,000 wrinkles. Her eyes the pale, misty gray of the bog itself. She lives alone in the deep woods, and it is said she speaks more with the spirits of the trees and the water than she does with men. She is treated with a profound and fearful reverence. She is a walker between the worlds, and her word is not her own. It is the word of the gods, the entire village, all who are well enough to walk. Follows your father and the seer out of the village to the ancient circle of standing stones on the hill. A great bonfire is lit in the center of the circle. its flames a roaring, defiant beacon against the cold. Moonlit darkness. You and your family stand in the front rank. Your father the chieftain at your side. You all watch in a tense. Absolute silence. Morwen begins her ritual. She does not speak. She moves to the center of the circle, her bare feet silent on the cold earth. She unwraps a leather bundle and lays a square of clean, white linen on the ground from a small pouch. She takes a handful of what look like small, polished sticks of yew wood, each one carved with a strange, angular symbol. These are the sacred runes, the keys to understanding the will of the gods. With her eyes closed, she shakes the runes in her cupped hands, her lips moving in a silent, unheard chant. Then, she casts them onto the white cloth. The small, dark symbols lie scattered in the firelight. She kneels, her ancient eyes studying the pattern, reading the story they tell. The silence is so deep you can hear the hiss and crackle of the bonfire. After a long time, she looks up, and her gaze seems to pass through you. To be looking at a world that is not there? The earth is sick, she says, her voice a dry, rustling whisper. A great taboo has been broken. A promise was made by your grandfather to the spirits of the bog. A promise of a great offering in exchange for a victory in battle. He won the battle, but the offering was never made. The spirits have been waiting. Their patience has ended. The sickness in the land is their anger. It is their revenge. A collective gasp goes through the assembled tribe. The source of the curse is not an enemy sorcerer. It is their own broken oath, a forgotten sin of their ancestors. Your father's face is pale in the firelight. What must be done? He asks, his voice hoarse. What offering do they demand? Now I will give them my finest cattle, my own war horse, the treasures from my hall. Morwen shakes her head slowly. Her eyes are still fixed on that other world. The offense was great, she whispers. The land was promised a life, and it was denied. The blood of beasts is not enough to heal such a wound. The earth will not be satisfied with the life of an animal. It demands the life of the people. A new, more terrible fear ripples through the crowd. The gods demand a sacrifice. The seer continues, her voice growing stronger, more distant, taking on the rhythmic cadence of a prophecy. To lift this curse, to wash the land clean, to restore the balance, the tribe must give up its most precious treasure. The anger of the bog can only be appeased by the offering of what is most loved. She has delivered her message, but the message is a riddle. What is the tribe's most precious treasure? Morwen seems to awaken from her trance. She looks around at the terrified faces of your people as if seeing them for the first time. She slowly, painstakingly, gathers her runes and wraps them in their leather bundle. Her work is done. She turns and walks away from the fire, a silent, hunched figure disappearing back into the darkness of the woods, leaving the village alone with her terrible, ambiguous prophecy. The tribe is left in a state of stunned, fearful silence. The terrible question hanging in the cold night air. What is the price? What is our most precious treasure? Is it the chieftain's sacred ancestral sword, passed down for generations? Is it the great bronze cauldron in the mead hall? A symbol of the tribe's prosperity? You stand beside your father. He is staring into the flames, but his face is a mask of pure, abject agony. And in that moment, you see that he, at least, has understood the terrible answer to the riddle. The tribe's most precious treasure is not an object of gold or bronze. It is its own future. It is the continuation of its own noble bloodline. It is you. He does not look at you. He cannot. He just stands there. A great warrior and a proud chieftain, utterly broken by the knowledge of the choice he must now make. A choice between his people and his own beloved daughter. The seer has delivered the verdict of the gods, but the terrible final task of naming the victim has been left to him. The days following the seer's pronouncement are a time of heavy, fearful silence in your village. The prophecy hangs in the air like a shroud of mist, a terrible, unanswered question. The tribe must give up its most precious treasure. The villagers whisper among themselves, their eyes filled with a new and fearful speculation. They look at the chieftain's ancient ancestral sword, at the magnificent bronze cauldron in the great hall. And then, their gaze flickers for a moment to you, and they quickly look away. They look. You see the agony in your father's face. He does not speak of the prophecy, but his grief is a palpable presence in your longhouse. He is a man caught in an impossible trap, his love for you at war with his sacred duty to his people. You know what he is thinking. You know what the answer to the seer's riddle is. You have always known, after 3 days of this unbearable silence. Your father, the chieftain, calls a council of the village elders. They meet in the great hall, and you are not permitted to attend. You sit with your mother in her chamber, the sound of their low, grim voices, a distant, unintelligible rumble. You wait. Late that night, your father comes to you. His face is a mask of stone, but his eyes are filled with a sorrow so deep it is like looking into a bottomless well. The council has decided, he says, his voice a rough whisper. We cannot act on my interpretation alone. It is too terrible a burden for one man to bear. The gods themselves must make their will clear. They must point. Tomorrow, at noon, we will cast the runes. The next day, the entire tribe is assembled in the great hall. The air is thick with a suffocating, silent dread. This is not a festival. This is a judgment. Your father stands before the great central hearth. He is not just the chieftain today, he is the high priest. He holds a large, ceremonial bag made of sealskin. He explains the procedure. Inside the bag are a number of flat, polished stones, taken from the sacred river. Most are blank. But one, he explains, has been marked with the symbol of the sun, the sign of a great offering. The priest then walks through the assembled families. Each family head, every farmer, every warrior, every craftsman must place a personal object into the bag, a ring, a bead, a small carving. These are the lots, your father, his hands trembling almost imperceptibly, places a small, carved amber bird, a trinket he made for you when you were a child, into the bag. It is the lot for his own daughter. The ritual begins. Your father raises the sealskin bag to the heavens. He chants a long, ancient prayer, his voice echoing in the silent hall, asking the gods of the sky and the earth to guide his hand, to show them the true and necessary path, to make their will known without ambiguity. He then reaches his hand into the bag, not looking. The only sound in the hall is the soft, dry rustle of the lots moving against each other. He pulls his hand out. He is holding a single, small object. He opens his hand for all to see. It is the single marked stone, the sunstone. The gods have declared that the sacrifice must indeed be a human life. A great collective sigh of terror and resignation goes through the hall. Now comes the final, most terrible act. Your father drops the sunstone back into the bag. He shakes it again. He begins to pray once more, his voice now thick with an unspeakable grief. Show us, he pleads to the silent gods. Show us the one who must be given. He reaches his hand into the bag again. The silence is so profound, it feels as if the world has stopped breathing. He draws his hand out, his fist clenched. He holds it before him for a long, eternal moment. Then, slowly, he opens his fingers, resting in the center of his large, calloused palm is the small, amber bird. Your mother lets out a single, piercing cry of pure agony, a sound that is quickly smothered. Your father stands like a man who has been turned to stone. his face a ruin of love and duty. The young warrior, thin, his face white with shock, takes an involuntary step forward before one of the other warriors puts a restraining hand on his arm, and you stand there, in the center of your world, and you feel a strange and terrible calm descend upon you. The fear is there, a cold, sharp thing in the pit of your stomach. But beneath it is something else, a sense of finality, of purpose. You have been raised on the great stories of your people, stories of heroes who have given their lives to save their tribe. You have always known that your life, as the chieftain's daughter, was not entirely your own. You belong to your people, and your people, and your gods, are now calling upon you to pay the ultimate price of that belonging. You do not weep. You do not scream. You look at your father, at his broken face, and you give him a small, almost imperceptible nod. You accept. The mood in the Great Hall changes. The terrible suspense is over. The victim has been chosen. The path to salvation, however awful, is now clear. The people look at you now with a new expression in their eyes. It is a look of immense sorrow, of profound pity, but also of a new, fearful reverence. Fearful. You are no longer Era, the chieftain's daughter. You are now the offering, the sacred vessel, the price. Two of the elder women of the village approach you. They gently take your arms. Your old life is over. They lead you away from your weeping mother and your stone-faced father, away from the horrified gaze of the man you were to marry. They lead you to a small, isolated hut at the edge of the village, a hut that has been purified with smoke and prayers. This will be your home for the last few days of your life. Your new, short, and sacred existence as a living sacrifice has just begun. You are now a person set apart. The hut you are taken to is clean, and a soft bed of fresh straw and furs has been prepared for you. But it is a cage, a beautiful and respectful cage. The two elder women who are now your attendants treat you with a new and terrifying reverence. They no longer speak to you as Era, the girl they have known since birth. They speak to you in hushed, formal tones, as one would speak to a priestess or a goddess. You are no longer a person. You have become a sacred vessel. Your days are a strange mixture of honor and profound isolation. You are given the best of the tribe's dwindling food stores, a piece of honeyed cake, a small portion of salted meat, a cup of the finest mead. But you must eat alone. You are dressed in a new, finely woven white linen gown, a garment of immense value. But you cannot walk through the village to show it off. You are being honored, fattened, and prepared like a sacred animal for the altar. Your family is not allowed to visit you in the old, familiar way. Your mother brings your food each day, but she does not stay to talk of village gossip or the progress of her weaving. She stands at the doorway, her face a mask of terrible, controlled sorrow, and she looks at you with a mixture of a mother's heartbreak and a subject's awe. You are her daughter, but you are also now her savior, a holy being beyond her touch. That distance is more painful than any physical wall. The seer, Morwen, returns from the forest. She is now your spiritual guide, your teacher for your final journey. She comes to your hut each day to instruct you on your new and terrible role. The tribe's survival now rests on your courage. Child, she says, her ancient, misty eyes seeming to look right through you. The gods do not want a fearful, weeping sacrifice. They demand a willing and noble heart. Your acceptance, your bravery, is a vital part of the magic. You must become the offering in your soul long before your body is given. She teaches you the old songs, the hymns to the gods of the earth and the bog. She guides you through meditations and prayers, helping you to detach from your fear, from your love for your old life, and to embrace your new, sacred purpose. But in the long, silent nights, when the seer is gone and the elder women are asleep, the fear comes, It is a cold, primal, and overwhelming terror. You lie on your soft furs and you think of Finn, of the life you were meant to have with him, of the children you will never bear. You think of the simple, joyful feeling of the sun on your face as you walked through the fields, and a silent, hot scream of protest rises in your throat. You want to live, you want to run, to flee into the forest and never return. Then, the other part of you, the part that is the chieftain's daughter, the part that has been raised on the great epics of heroes and sacrifice, takes hold. You think of the sick children in the village. You think of the blighted crops and the specter of starvation. You see the faces of your people, their hope now resting entirely on you, and you understand that there is no escape. To run would be to save your own life, but to condemn your entire tribe. Your willingness, you realize, is a complex thing. Future anthropologists will debate the nature of it. Is it piety or is it the result of a profound psychological coercion? A choice that is not a choice at all. You know it is both. Their reverence is a cage, their love a chain, their hope a weight that presses you toward your fate. One day, your father is allowed a final, private visit. He enters your hut, and he seems to have aged 10 years in the past week. He is not your father today. He is the chieftain. He does not embrace you. He stands before you, his face a mask of grim. Formal authority, the tribe thanks you for your gift, he says, his voice a low, rough thing he is struggling to control. Your name will be sung by the storytellers for 100 generations. Your sacrifice will be the story that gives our people life. You have shown the courage of your ancestors. It is a terrible, formal, and deeply loving goodbye. He cannot show his grief as a father, for he must be the chieftain who is leading his people in this sacred act. He looks at you for a long moment, his eyes a sea of unspeakable pain. Then he turns and leaves. The final days are a blur of ritual purification. You are bathed in water from a sacred spring, water in which glowing hot stones have been placed. You must fast. Drinking only the spring water, you are becoming a thing of pure spirit, your earthly body being cleansed and prepared on the last night. The elder women come and braid your long hair with sacred herbs and small, polished stones. They paint strange, swirling symbols on your hands and feet with blue woad. When they are finished, one of them holds up a polished bronze mirror. You look at your own reflection, and you see a stranger. It is not Era, the girl who loved to dance at the midsummer festival. It is a holy thing, a serene, calm, and terrifyingly beautiful priestess, her eyes wide and dark. Seeing a world beyond this one, you have become the sacred vessel. The elder women bow their heads before you. The time has come, one of them whispers. The tribe has gathered in the great hall. Your last feast awaits you. You are led from your hut of isolation and back into the world of your people. It is night, and the path to your father's great hall is lined with every member of your tribe. They stand in a profound, reverent silence, holding torches that flicker in the cold night air. Their faces, illuminated by the dancing firelight, are filled with a mixture of sorrow, awe, and a terrible gratitude. As you pass, they do not look you in the eye. They bow their heads. You are no longer Era, their kin. You are a holy thing, a sacred vessel walking to your destiny. The great hall is filled with a somber, expectant energy. The long tables have been laden with the best of the tribe's dwindling supplies. A whole roasted pig, a rare delicacy in these lean times. Loaves of bread made from the last of the good barley. Great horns of sweet. Golden mead. It is a feast of honor. It is your feast. You are not seated with your mother or your siblings. You are led to the great high seat beside your father, the chieftain. It is a chair carved from ancient oak, draped in the finest wolf furs. a seat of immense honor. You, the sacrifice, are the guest of honor at this grim and solemn banquet. The feast begins. Your father, the chieftain, raises his great drinking horn. Tonight, he says, his voice a deep, resonant boom that fills the hall. We do not mourn. We honor the one who is bravest among us, the one whose courage will heal our land and restore the favor of the gods. We honor my daughter, Ira. The tribe raises their horns in a great, silent salute. The air is thick with unspoken grief. The elders and the great warriors of the tribe rise, one by one, to speak. They do not offer eulogies. They offer praise. They speak of your kindness as a child, of your skill at the loom, of your gentle nature. The tribe's storyteller, the Scop, stands and chants a new verse to an old epic, a verse that weaves your name into the lineage of the great heroes who have given their lives for the people. They are not mourning your death. They are celebrating your sacrifice. They are transforming you from a person into a legend before your very eyes. You sit in the high seat, and you play your part. You eat the rich food, but you do not taste it. You drink the sweet mead, but it does not warm you. You listen to the words of praise, but they seem to be about a stranger, a heroic figure from a song, not you. The terrified girl whose heart is a cold stone in her chest. You are an actor in the final scene of your own tragedy. You watch your family. Your father sits beside you, his face a mask of iron, performing his duty as chieftain. But you see the agony in the tightness of his jaw, in the way he grips his drinking horn. Your mother sits across the hall, and she tries to meet your gaze with a smile, but it is a terrible, broken thing, a mother's love warring with her people's faith. And you see Finn, the young warrior you were to marry. He sits in a dark corner, his head bowed over his cup, unable to watch, unable to look at the woman he loves being celebrated for her impending death. The ritual continues before you drink from your own horn. Your father takes it and pours a small measure of the mead directly into the flames of the great central hearth. A libation for the spirits of the house and the earth. Every act is freighted with a terrible, symbolic weight. This feast, you understand, is a complex and necessary magic. Future anthropologists will debate its function. Is it an act of compassion to give the victim a final night of honor, or is it a form of psychological coercion? A final, powerful ritual that binds you to your fate and makes any resistance unthinkable, you know. Sitting in the high seat, that it is both. You feel the honor, the genuine love and reverence of your people. It buoys you up, but it is also a cage. Their collective belief, their gratitude for your sacrifice, makes it impossible for you to cry out, to refuse. You must be the brave, willing hero of their stories. To do anything else would be to betray them all. In the midst of the solemn speeches, there is a small crack in the ritual facade. Finn, your betrothed, suddenly stands. His face is pale, his eyes wild with a grief that will not be contained by custom. He walks through the silent hall directly to you. He does not speak. He simply kneels before you, takes your hand from your lap, and holds it in his own warm, strong hands for a long moment. It is a simple, desperate, human touch in the midst of this grand, inhuman ritual. It is a touch that says everything that cannot be said. A moment later, two of his kinsmen gently pull him away, back to his seat in the shadows. That small touch is the most painful part of the entire night. It is a reminder of the warm, simple, human life you are about to give up. The feast ends late in the night. The tribe files out of the great hall, their faces filled with sorrow and a grim resolve. They return to their own homes, to their own families, leaving you to yours. You are not taken back to your isolated hut. You are led by your mother and the elder women to your own bedchamber within your father's longhouse. A new, soft bed of furs has been prepared, A single lamp burns, its light soft and low. This is where you will spend the last few hours of the night. At the heart of the family you are dying to save. The elder women attendants stay with you. Sleep now, blessed one. One of them whispers. Gather your strength. The procession begins at dawn. You lie down on the soft furs. They pull a warm woolen blanket over you. You know you will not sleep. You will simply lie here, in the deep, quiet darkness, listening to the dying embers of the feast fire crackle and hiss in the great hall outside your door. You will listen to the sound of your own breathing, a sound that is now a finite and precious commodity, and you will wait for your final sunrise. You do not sleep. You lie in the darkness of your room, a quiet, hollowed-out calm having settled over you. You are no longer waiting for a thing to happen. You are simply waiting for the sun. It comes. A pale, gray light filtering through the smoke hole in the roof of the longhouse. The elder women enter your chamber. They do not speak. Their movements are slow, gentle, and full of a profound and sorrowful reverence. They are the attendants of a goddess on the morning of her final. Great ceremony. They dress you in the simple, white linen gown. They braid your long hair, weaving into it small sprigs of yew, the tree of death and eternity, and of mistletoe, the most sacred plant that grows between the earth and the sky. They offer you a final drink from a carved wooden cup. It is a sweet, dark mead, but it is mixed with herbs that calm your spirit and dull the sharp edges of your fear. It does not make you drowsy. It makes the world seem distant, dreamlike, as if you are already viewing it from another place. When you are ready, you step out of the longhouse. The entire tribe is there, assembled in the central space of the village. They are utterly silent. The morning mist swirls around their feet, and their faces are pale, indistinct masks in the gray dawn light. They part for you, creating a path. The procession begins. It is not the loud, chaotic, fearful procession of a Chinese funeral, nor the magnificent, prideful procession of a Roman triumph. It is a slow, silent, and deeply somber walk. The seer, Morwen, walks before you, her staff tapping a soft, hypnotic rhythm on the damp earth. You follow her. You are not bound. Your willingness, your calm, dignified walk to your own death is the most important part of the entire sacrifice. Your father and mother walk on either side of you. They do not hold your hands. They are your honor guard, the chieftain and his wife, presenting their most precious treasure to the gods. You can feel the waves of their grief, a silent, powerful thing that seems to shimmer in the air around them. Behind you, the entire tribe follows in a long, silent line. The only sounds are the seer's low, monotonous chant, the soft crunch of 100 pairs of feet on the path, and the distant, lonely cry of a curlew. You leave the familiar safety of your village's wooden palisade. You walk a path that leads away from the fields and the pastures, a path that leads towards the great, dark peat bog. The world you walk through is one of immense and misty beauty. The air is cool and smells of wet earth, of decaying leaves, and of the bog itself. You are walking out of the world of men and into the world of the spirits, after what feels like an age. You arrive. You stand at the edge of the great bog. It is a vast, flat expanse of rust-colored water and spongy, green and brown earth. It is a place that is neither truly land nor truly water. A liminal space. A gateway? Stunted. Twisted birch trees grow at its edges, their white bark like the bones of the earth. The silence here is absolute. It is the silence of a place that is waiting. You are led to a specific spot on the bog's edge, a place where a small wooden trackway has been laid down over the softest ground, leading to a small, dark pool of open water. This is the tribe's most sacred altar. Future archaeologists, digging in this very spot 2,500 years from now, will find the offerings your people have made here over the centuries. They will find the preserved remains of magnificent bronze swords, of wooden bowls still containing traces of butter, and of human bodies, their skin tanned to leather by the acidic water, their features so perfectly preserved they look as if they have only just fallen asleep. They will debate the reasons for these sacrifices. Were they criminals, or were they kings you? Standing here, know the terrible truth. The sacrifice is not a punishment for the wicked. It is an honor reserved for the most beloved. You stand at the edge of the dark. Still water. The procession has stopped. The tribe forms a grate. Silent. Semicircle behind you. You are at the very edge of the world now. The border between life and death. You look at the faces of your family, of your people. They seem distant now, their features blurry, as if you are already looking at them across a great, unbridgeable distance. You see Finn, your betrothed, and his face is a mask of pure, silent agony. Your fear is a cold, hard stone in the pit of your stomach, but the seer's potion in the immense. Crushing weight of your sacred duty hold it at bay. You have been transformed. You are no longer Era, a girl with hopes and a future. You are a sacrifice. Your purpose is to die, and in your death, to save the people you love. You feel a strange and terrible sense of peace. You have played your part. You have walked the path. You are ready. The seer, Morwen, steps to your side. Her chanting grows a little louder. She is beginning the final. Terrible prayers. She is telling the gods of the bog, the ancient spirits of the earth and the water, that their offering has arrived. You look down, into the dark, still, peat-stained water of the pool, and you see your own reflection. You see the face of the strange, holy priestess you have become. Her hair braided with you, her eyes wide and dark and looking into another world. Your journey is over. The sacrifice is about to begin. You stand at the edge of the dark. Silent pool. The still water a black mirror reflecting the gray sky. The tribe forms a wide, solemn circle behind you. The seer, Morwen, stands beside you. The final, terrible, and most sacred rite is about to begin. Your fear has been transformed by the herbal mead and the immense weight of your purpose into a strange, detached calm. You are an actor in the final scene of a great, divine drama. Morwen begins to speak, her voice a low, hypnotic chant that is not for you, but for your people, so that they may understand the meaning of the sacrifice they are about to witness. The balance of the world has been broken, she chants. The earth has been made sick by a broken oath, and its sickness has poisoned the water and angered the sky. A single offering is not enough to heal a threefold wound. The gods of all the realms must be appeased. She looks at you, her ancient eyes holding no malice, only a profound, grim necessity. You, Era, the most precious treasure of your people, will be a gift for 3 gods. Your death will not be one death, but 3. A sacred knot to retie the broken threads of the world. She explains the terrible trinity of your end. Your breath, the essence of your life, will be given as a gift to the gods of the sky and the wind. Your blood, the river of your life, will be given as a gift to the gods of the earth, to heal the blight and restore fertility to the soil. And your body, your physical vessel, will be given as a gift to the ancient, powerful spirits of the bog, the gods of the water and the underworld. The ritual begins. 2 of the elders, their faces like stone, approach you. One holds a cord, a garrote woven from the tough sinew of a stag, with a gentle and profound reverence. They place it around your neck. This is the first offering, the gift to the sky. They begin to tighten the cord. It is not a violent, brutal strangulation. It is a slow, ritualistic pressure. The world begins to fade. The faces of your family, of your people, blur at the edges of your vision. The only sound is the seer's chanting and the roaring of the blood in your own ears. You look up at the great, gray expanse of the sky, and you offer up your final breath. A silent, misty plume in the cold air. Your consciousness dissolves into a soft, gray nothingness. You are not aware of the second offering. You are in the gray, silent space between worlds. But an observer would see the seer. Morwen. Step forward as your unconscious body is held up by the elders. She holds a small, sharp knife of bronze. She makes a small, shallow, and ritualistic cut upon your chest, just above your heart. A few drops of your dark, rich blood well up. She catches them in a small, carved wooden bowl. She then walks to the edge of the bog and pours the bowl out upon the spongy earth. A libation of your life force. Receive this gift, O Mother of the Earth. She chants, let this precious blood heal your sickness. Let this life bring life anew. The second offering has been made. The debt to the earth has been paid. The final act is the gift to the water. Your body, still and lifeless, is now carried to the edge of the dark pool. You are not thrown in. You are lowered with the utmost reverence into the cold. Peat-stained water. Your last, fleeting sensation, if your spirit could feel it, is of the cold, silent, and strangely gentle embrace of the bog, the acidic water, which will preserve your body for millennia, closes over your head. The gray light of the sky is replaced by the swirling, dark brown of the peat. Your triple death is complete. Your breath belongs to the sky. Your blood belongs to the earth. And your body now belongs to the bog. The narrative perspective pulls back. You are gone. The tribe stands in a silent, motionless vigil on the bank of the dark pool. They watch as the last, faint ripples on the water's surface fade away, leaving it as still and as flat as black glass. The seer, Morwen, raises her arms to the sky. The offering has been accepted, she declares, her voice ringing out in the silent valley. The debt is paid. The balance is restored. The members of your tribe, their faces stained with tears, look at each other with a mixture of profound sorrow and a new, fragile hope. The terrible price has been paid. Their beloved daughter, their princess, is gone. Now, all they can do is wait and pray that it was enough. The final ripple on the surface of the dark. Peaty water fades into stillness. You are gone from the world of light and air. The tribe stands for a long, silent moment on the bank of the bog. A tableau of collective, silent grief. Your father, the chieftain, stands like a man carved from stone, his face a mask of iron control, but a single tear traces a path through the grime on his cheek. The seer, Morwen, raises her arms one last time, not in a prayer, but in a gesture of finality. The gift has been given, she says, her voice a dry whisper on the wind. The earth has accepted its due. Then she leads your people away. They turn their backs on the sacred pool, on their most precious treasure, and begin the long, silent walk back to the village. They leave you alone, in the cold. Silent embrace of the bog. Your journey, however, is not quite over. Your spirit may have fled, but your physical vessel, the body that was once you, now begins a new and strange transformation. You sink slowly through the dark, rust-colored water. The light from the world above fades from a gray pane to a sliver, and then to nothing. You come to rest gently on the soft, mossy floor of the pool. This is no ordinary water. It is a magical liquid, a preserving liquor. The sphagnum moss that has grown and decayed here for thousands of years has released powerful acids into the water, creating an environment where the common bacteria of decay cannot survive. The water is cold, and there is no oxygen. It is a place of perfect, timeless stasis. The bog takes you. It is a slow, patient, and intimate process. The acidic water begins to tan your skin, turning it from the pale white of death to a deep, rich, leathery brown. It preserves every detail of fine lines around your eyes, the calluses on your hands from your work at the loom, the delicate braid in your hair woven with the sacred herbs. You are not rotting. You are being cured, like a fine piece of leather. Your body is not being destroyed, it is being transformed into an eternal effigy of yourself. You're fine. White linen gown slowly dissolves in the acidic water, but the woolen cloak you wore, its fibers more resilient, remains, clinging to your form. The small bronze pins that held it fast begin to turn a bright, vivid green. The acids of the bog work a strange alchemy on your bones. Slowly, over the course of seasons that you can no longer feel. The strong, hard calcium is leached away, leaving them soft and pliable, like cartilage. You are becoming a part of the bog itself. Your physical form adapting to its strange and timeless chemistry. You lie in the deep, silent darkness, a sleeping figure at the bottom of the pool. The world of men, with its seasons, its sorrows, its terrible curses, moves on, far above you. Years pass, decades, centuries. Your village survives, or it perishes. Your father dies and is buried. Your betrothed, Finn, becomes a great warrior, and he too grows old and dies. The stories of your sacrifice are told, and then they are embellished, and then, eventually, they are forgotten. You are now a secret, held in the dark. Peaty heart of the earth, your hair, once fair, is stained a deep, burnished red by the acids of the bog. Your face, in its eternal sleep, holds a look of profound and mysterious peace. You have become an artifact, a perfect and unchanging relic of a long-vanished world. The great sacrifice is complete. The offering has been made, and you, a body for the earth, are now at rest, waiting in the silent. Timeless dark for the day, thousands of years in the future, when the peat cutter's shovels will strike something soft and leathery and pull you back into the light of a world you could never have imagined. But for now, the only question that remains is the one your people asked themselves in the terrible days after you were gone. Was it enough in the days and weeks following your sacrifice? A heavy, anxious quiet settles over your village. The tribe has paid the most terrible price imaginable. And now they wait. They watch the fields with fearful eyes. They tend to their sick, their hearts filled with a desperate, fragile hope. At first, nothing changes. The black blight still clings to the withered remains of the summer harvest. Another elder, already weakened by the wasting sickness, dies. A terrible doubt begins to creep into the hearts of your people. Was your death in vain? Was the life of their most precious treasure not enough to appease the angry gods? Your father, the chieftain, walks through the village like a ghost, the weight of his decision, and the possibility of its failure, threatening to crush him. The winter that follows is the hardest in living memory. The tribe survives on stored nuts, on hunted game, and on the last of the meager, blighted grain. It is a season of hunger, of cold, and of doubt. Then comes the spring, as the snows melt and the earth softens. The first signs of the turning tide appear. The ewes begin to give birth, and their lambs are healthy and strong. Their legs straight, their cries full of life. The cows, gaunt from the long winter, begin to produce rich, creamy milk once more, and the wasting sickness that had plagued your people begins to recede. No new cases appear. Those who were in the early stages of the affliction, who had felt the tingling in their limbs and the fire in their skin, find their strength slowly returning. The curse, it seems, is lifting. The final test comes when the first shoots of new barley push through the dark, damp soil of the fields. The entire village watches them grow with a breathless anxiety. The shoots are a brilliant, vibrant green. The stalks grow tall and strong under the spring sun, and the heads of grain that form are heavy, golden, and pure. The black. Rotting blight does not return. A great collective sigh of relief and solemn joy washes over the tribe. It worked. Your sacrifice, your terrible and beautiful gift, was accepted. The gods are appeased. The land is healed. Your story is no longer a tragedy. It becomes a sacred legend. The founding myth of a new age for your people. You are no longer Era, the lost daughter. You are Era the Savior, the maiden who gave her life to the bog to buy the life of her tribe. Your name is now spoken with a quiet, holy reverence. The bog where you were laid to rest becomes the tribe's most sacred site, a place of immense power where offerings of flowers and finely woven cloths are made in your memory, asking for your continued protection as the tribe's guardian ancestor. Future historians, with their science and their reason, will say that the blight was a natural fungus that had simply run its course, that the wasting sickness was a disease whose time had passed. They will speak of correlation, not causation. But for your people, the truth is simple, absolute, and undeniable. The land was sick, and you were given to it. And then the land healed. You are the reason for their survival. Your family lives on, forever marked by your sacrifice. Your father rules for many more years, a sadder and a wiser chieftain. His authority now absolute, his bond with his people sealed by the shared memory of the terrible price he paid. Your mother finds her own quiet peace, speaking to you at the edge of the bog, believing her daughter is now a powerful spirit of the land. And Finn, the young warrior who was to be your husband, becomes the tribe's greatest champion. His heart filled with a sorrow that makes him fearless in battle. He never takes another wife. The seasons turn. The tribe prospers once more. Children are born who will know your story only as a legend, a grim and holy tale told by the elders around the fire on a cold winter's night. They will live in a world made safe by your death, and so your story, the story of the chieftain's daughter, finds its end. Your body rests, perfectly and peacefully preserved, in the silent, timeless darkness of the peat bog, your sacrifice having become the cornerstone of your people's faith. The brutal reality of your death has been transformed by the healing of the land into a story of love, of duty, and of salvation. Let the memory of that ancient, sorrowful ritual now fade. The seer's prophecy has been fulfilled. The curse has been lifted. The tribe is at peace, like the great dark bog now seems like a quiet and gentle place, a guardian of old secrets. The horrifying story of a human sacrifice has become, through the lens of time and the gratitude of a people, a beautiful and tragic myth. There is no more fear here. There is no more sickness. There is only the quiet of the green, healed land, and the profound peace of a story that has found its meaning. Let that peace now settle over you, a soft blanket in the darkness of your own quiet. Comfortable room,